This app can make you so much money during Q4, it's a crime for not using it. My e-commerce brand did over 300K in the first month of Q4, and today I'm gonna share everything you need to know to scale profitably during the rest of Q4 and crush it on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so let's get right into it. Alrighty, let's get started. My goal with this video is to create a ton of success stories during Q4, and I want to see a lot of Instagram posts like that after I make a bunch of money during Q4. But yeah, pretty much our brand did more than 300K in less than a month in the first month of Q4, and we're preparing for even bigger results in the months of November and December. And in this video, I will present you everything you need to know, from offers to ads to your backend to your finances, pretty much everything. It's a full complete scaling toolkit to scale to multiple six-figure months with great profitability. So first of all, this is not a beginner's video. It's more so for people who have tested a bunch of products during September and October, and you found a few winners and now you want to really scale them up, or you're a D2C brand owner and you want to acquire a lot of customers profitably during Q4. However, if you're not profitable with your testing campaigns yet, you should probably check out some of my other videos that are gonna come up. Pretty much, I have some bad news for you. It's a little bit late for testing. Ads are getting crazy expensive. Right now, it's just time for scale, and if you've done your homework and you've done the preparation, you can unlock six-figure months. So yeah, why the hell do you listen to this Balkan guy that is speaking? I'm Blago, and I've sold more than $6.5 million. I think we're at 6.7 at some point, with one single product and one main offer, and I've been doing that successfully for over 3 years in a very volatile industry. Here's some proof for you. And what we're gonna cover today is pretty much the 5 main aspects for a successful Q4. First of all, we're gonna talk about the right mindset, because a lot of people are trying to make as much money as possible and do some stupid stuff. Second of all, we're gonna cover the main driving force for success during Q4, which is creatives and content. Third, we're gonna talk about the advertising flywheel and how you can go omni-channel without much effort, and how to produce content that really converts. Then we're gonna discuss offers and landing pages. That's a very, very important aspect. Last but not least, we're gonna cover backend and finances to optimize for maximum profitability, because if you don't have that covered, you might not profit from Q4 at all. And if you stick until the end, I have some bonus tips for you. So yeah, let's get right into it. First of all, I wanna point out a common mistake that I'm seeing from all of you guys. So the beginner way to do it is to scale in Q4 as high as possible and not care about a customer at all and just focus on making profit. Whereas you should look at it as both as a profit-making machine, but also as a customer-generating machine. And Q4 is the best time ever to get new customers, even if you don't have the highest profit margin. So let me give you an example. So my point with this is that you need to find a balance between profitability and volume. Like, even if your profit margin drops, and up to 15% it's okay, like if you fall below that, it's a little bit volatile and risky, you should keep the high spend and volume. There's 2 scenarios. You can be low on revenue and high on profit margin, or you can scale higher in terms of revenue and still keep a decent profit margin. So if you do $1 million with 15% profit margin and 500K on 30% profit, you essentially make the same amount of profit, but you acquired 2 times more customers. So even if 10% of those new customers that you have purchase again from your brand, so that's $50,000 in additional revenue that you're gonna generate in the future from those additional customers. And that's existing customers that you don't need to spend advertising money on, and you can make a lot of profit from them. And 10% is a very conservative number, so imagine what it would be if you had like 20%, 30% repeat purchaser rate, which in some niches is just a standard. Another mistake that I see a lot of brands make is just discounting their products and cutting their margins. Like, understand that advertising is crazy expensive during Q4, so it's the stupidest mistake ever to just cut your margins and try to be like the cheapest brand on the market and run deep discounts, because your margin is for sure gonna drop. And in the end of the day, you will have made a lot of revenue, right? But like your margins will be razor thin, and it feels like you're running a massive non-profit. So you need to plan and prepare accordingly for Q4. Don't wait for last minute decisions. Work with your content creators in advance and have all of your ads and landing pages prepared so that you have more than enough time to launch them, scale them, analyze them, pretty much everything. So it's better early than sorry, so stop wasting time and prepare your Black Friday and Cyber Monday campaigns and start warming them up from right now, because you can run them on low scale, test things out, see what works, and scale them up really hard when it's time. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. Scaling with Facebook ads is crazy simple nowadays. Like, you don't need any crazy media buying hacks and all those things which were the topic, in the previous years. Right now, the algorithm is crazy good at optimizing stuff. So you just need to nail down the basics, and the rest will be covered by the algorithm. So first of all, it's very important to start testing out new marketing angles for your products, because during Q4, your market becomes wider, right? Like, you have more people looking for your products, and if you just stick with the same marketing angle that you've been using over and over and over again, you might lose out on a lot of profit, especially during Q4, because everyone's going crazy about buying stuff, right? How do you do that? You just brainstorm and do research within your niche and try to attach holidays and specific events during Q4 to your main marketing angle. For example, our product is a fan-based product, and right now for Halloween we have created specifically made for cosplay costumes. So pretty much we sell our product as an accessory to your Halloween costume, and it's very relevant, and the CTRs are crazy on that, just because it's very specific with a specific event. And also a bonus tip would be to do that on your landing pages as well. So whenever you have that specific campaign and specific creative that you want to test, you can either duplicate your main product page or just simply edit your product page with elements about that holiday. For example, we have our main product picture as a Halloween sale. We also have some Halloween elements in the landing page copy, but you get my point. A lot of people are afraid to test multiple funnels and multiple angles within one ad account. It's not a problem at all. As long as it's the same store and it's the same niche, it's not a big deal. So the main things that we test with our Facebook ads creatives are the concepts, or pretty much the marketing angles. Then the second most important thing is the hook. Then you have the main body of the ad, and last you have the headline and the ad copy. And we don't only use video ad creatives, we also use image ads and GIF ads. But for video ad creatives, you can do unboxings if you can do an ASMR unboxing, you can see those popping up like crazy because they're so engaging to watch. You can hire somebody to do a personal story. That can turn out very well if it's a customer or a very passionate influencer. An alternative to that is the podcast style video. And if you're selling a product which is a problem solver for older demographics, I'm talking about 35, 40 plus, you can test out a long form VSL. So I'm gonna only briefly mention them in this video, but if you want me to cover all of the creative types that we're using for Facebook ads, make sure to like and subscribe that video, and I'm gonna make it for you. As for image ads, we're using GIFs and images that are either screaming the offer, or you can use comparison and main USPs of the product. And a lot of people are hesitant to test image ads. They think that they don't convert and stuff like that. But usually CPMs are much better. The traffic is actually high quality, especially if you're screaming the offer. And they have great ROAS and they're quite stable. In fact, our best performing creative is not even a video ad. So how do you test those creatives? Let's say you source a few creatives, you want to test them out. My strategy is very, very basic. I don't like Facebook's budget allocation, so I just test one creative per ad set. So you can see on the graph, I have my best stack of audiences. That can be interest, but also lookalikes. And I test one creative per ad set, and I test one variable at a time. What that means is if I want to test 5 angles, I will make the 5 videos. I'll put one video per ad set, and I'm gonna first only test out concepts. Then after I find my winning concept, I'm gonna test out hooks, After I find my winning hook, I'm gonna test more main parts, and so on, based on the hierarchy that I presented here. After you identify your winners, I use 3 main campaigns for scaling. First of all, we have high budget ABOs and CBOs, where you pretty much put your winning ads and audience combinations and you scale them to the moon. And you don't need to duplicate, you don't need to recreate them. You can just ramp up the budgets and they're gonna be just fine. After $100 in daily ad spend, they're gonna be just fine, and you don't need to have like 20 duplicates of the same ad set. The second type of campaign is Advantage Plus. This is the easiest one to set up. You just create a broad ad set, high budgets, ideally $100 plus to begin with, and then you import your top 10 to 20 creators. And the last one that I use the least is the cost cap, and I don't overthink the bidding strategy. I just set my target CPA and then I adjust it as I go. So if it doesn't spend, I just increase the cap. If it does spend profitably, I just leave it as it is and I just scale up the budgets. So usually you begin with higher budgets here, like $300, $400 per day, and you put 3 to 5 of your best performing ads. And how do you scale with Facebook ads? You pretty much have to monitor your profit margin and decide whether it's a good time for scaling. So if you're very profitable and you're at over 30%, you can scale more aggressively. So if you had a very, very good day and the next day is starting to peak out pretty well as well, you can scale your advertising budget by 15 to 20% every 4 to 6 hours. And during that period, you need to monitor your performance. So if your ROAS is good and everything is fine, you can just continue and finish the full cycle. But if the ROAS drops and your conversion rate goes to shit and Facebook starts giving you shitty traffic, you should descale a little bit and leave it until the next day. So that's pretty much how you can double your ad spend almost overnight. But again, you should only do this in very, very profitable days. If that's not the case, you should analyze your funnel. And if you're mildly profitable, you probably need to keep the same ad spend and just restructure things a little bit, kill off ads and audiences that are unprofitable, scale up other ones that are profitable. But your goal is not to scale up your ad spend, but rather to restructure your account to get into that sweet 30% profit range and then scale up aggressively. But you can't scale up on very low profit margins. One of the biggest mistakes that I see e-commerce owners make is just try to spend more money on ads without actually analyzing their funnel. Like you can't scale with that. Spending more money on ads will not give you better performance. You have to analyze your funnel. You have to do the boring work of just diving deep into your ad account and see which part of the funnel is the constraint. You have to identify, is it your ads? Do you have high cost per click? Do you have a shitty offer? Is your price way too low so that you cannot be profitable? Is it your margin? Just don't be ignorant and try spending money on ads. Like, this will not resolve the issue. It will only put you in a very high financial risk because you can lose a bunch of money in a single day if you have a very unprofitable day. That's the worst thing that it can happen. And last but not least, I want to point out that media buying shouldn't be complicated. So don't stay constantly in your ad account like it's not productive. Even on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you should only scale up your budgets every 2 to 4 hours. So even though it's a one-day opportunity to make a bunch of money, you shouldn't constantly stay in your ad account. Okay, we covered how to scale your ads, but how do you actually source your content? Your main goal for Q4 is to pretty much find your ideal avatar and find creators for it. So creators can be found on a lot of different platforms. I've used one from Fiverr, Upwork. You can find some on Twitter. They're popping off a lot recently. Instagram is good as well. Below and Backstage are paid platforms specifically for content creation. So there it's very important to just give them very detailed guidelines on what you expect. Otherwise, you're gonna just get a generic product demo video, which is not gonna sound authentic at all. But actually, your best source of content are your own customers. So reach out to your customers, give them free products, give them discounts, like even pay them $50 to $100. Like, content is the best investment you can make during Q4. And especially with customers, because they are already your ideal avatar. Like, you don't need to look for content creators that much. Half of our content that we've generated over the past 3 years have been made by customers, and it converted amazing because it's very, very genuine. So you pretty much find creators and you have two goals. First of all, have them create content for your brand so that you can get the raw content, create some ads, and use them on all marketing platforms. Here's the omni-channel advertising flywheel that you can use. You can use those ads and chop them in formats for Facebook. You can use that for YouTube. You can use them for both Snapchat and TikTok. And for Snapchat and TikTok, you can use the same format and use pretty much identical content for both platforms. For Facebook, you need a 4:5 ratio or 1:1 ratio. And for YouTube, you can just do the same video as you do on Facebook, just in a horizontal form. And also, depending on the creator, so if you work with a TikTok influencer or an Instagram influencer, it's always a good idea to have them do organic shoutouts and give them affiliate commissions for that. And if you look at this image right here, lifetime I've made more than $100,000 in affiliate revenue for my brand just by utilizing affiliate commissions for both customers and influencers. Next step is offers, and most people get this completely wrong because when they think of offers, they just think of, oh, I need to discount my prices and offer a better deal than anybody else. But that's actually not the case. Like, your last resort solution should be discounting prices because your margin will die. Instead, you should ask yourself, how can I provide the most value to the marketplace? Because people are willing to spend anyways. So why cut your margins? Just provide more value. And the best way to provide more value is to make bundles. So I think I've shared this story a lot of times, but so pretty much everything changed for me when I tested this one offer. It was Black Friday in 2020, and I decided to test the buy one get one free offer. And you can see the results here. Before I tested the offer, I had $170 AOV, and after I introduced the offer, the AOV got up by $40, the conversion rate increased by 75%, and went from 3 ROAS to 6.5 ROAS almost overnight, which is just crazy. With that specific offer, we made over $1 million in sales for the next 6 months, and it started off as a basic Black Friday offer test. So what are the best offers to test during Q4? First of all, my favorite one obviously is the buy one get X offer. It could be buy one get one free, it could be buy one get 50% off, or buy one get a free product. But pretty much the perceived value is huge, and depending on the products that you're gonna offer in this package, you can have great gross margins, and it's pretty much the thing that took us from 3 ROAS to 6.5 ROAS in just 2 days of testing, because you can both increase your price and your conversion rate will either be just as good or if not even better, like in our case, which creates a massive difference in your ROAS. My second most favorite offer is the main product and additional services and digital products. So if you're afraid to test a higher price for your offer and you think that your conversion rate might drop and all that stuff, you can try that. So you can just add more services to your product. It could be free PDF, it could be extended warranty, priority shipping, shipping insurance, all those things, and also try to make it niche specific. So like if you're selling like a fitness product, you can attach a training course, a diet plan, probably a free consultation with a fitness specialist after they purchase. Those offers add a ton of perceived value without necessarily having to raise the price and risk hurting your conversion rate. And if you keep your price the same, your conversion rate might go up, and with that your profitability will also go up. Last but not least, we have the full experience bundle. It's pretty much your main product and supportive products that the customer would need later down the road. For example, you're selling a technical product and you have like accessories for it. You can sell a bundle of that main product plus all the accessories and package them up in a nice way. You can offer the main product and also supportive accessories with it. And even if you put the additional services on top, you have a very, very irresistible offer. And a hack that I like to use with such bundles is making them very event specific. So for example, instead of saying accessories pack or accessories bundle or the full product bundle, you can say something like spooky bundle or ultimate holiday pack or Thanksgiving care bundle and stuff like that. It really can do some good stuff on your conversion rate. As for AOV optimization, you shouldn't miss out on the buying frenzy and offer upsells both in the pre-purchase and the post-purchase stage. For the pre-purchase, I like to use quantity breaks, which is pretty much more of the same product. And let me actually give you an example. So that's one of my favorite brands that I like to use as an example. As you can see, they are offering bundles on the main product page. Then when you click the cart, you have your additional offers, which is again an additional product. Here you can also have a checkbox with a specific service, for example, shipping insurance, and that's pretty much the best setup you can use. Alternatively, you can also add a pre-checkout pop-up, but there's some slight risk of conversion friction. There's a ton of apps that you can use. I think there's one called Cart Monster for in-cart upsells, and for quantity breaks, I use Kaching, which pretty much looks the same as the Bleemy website that I just showed. And for post-purchase upsells, you need to have this app installed. Like, this app can make you so much money during Q4, it's a crime for not using it. It's called Zipify One-Click Upsell, and you can upsell the same product, which is the best practice. Like, probably 70-80% of my upsell revenue has come from the same product. You can upsell accessories, you can test them in a bundle or standalone products, or you can just offer additional services such as warranties, insurance, all that stuff. Last but not least, I want to touch on conversion rate optimization and copywriting. The most important things for Q4 are making your main product image very season specific and mentioning those elements from your marketing angles during Q4 in your ad copy. Like, your whole marketing funnel should be very congruent. Otherwise, people will see your ad, they will see that it's season specific, but then they're gonna click on the website, they're gonna see some general information. So pretty much you need to reinforce the same marketing message across all steps of your funnel. You should do it on the ad level, you should do it on the landing page level, and also you should do it in the backend in the emails that I'm gonna cover in a second. But you don't need to overthink that. You can just use ChatGPT for some copywriting suggestions. As for landing pages, you can use Repflow for sick landing pages inside Shopify. I'm gonna show that in a second. And also you can test out Funnelish, which is a third-party funnel software where you can really squeeze out a ton of average order value. Even if you want to go the extra mile, you can create an advertorial or a listicle for your product and really reinforce that marketing message. So let me show you what I mean by that. This is an advertorial by one of the biggest dropshipping brands. And I know that it looks a little bit disgusting, but it's working like crazy. This advertorial alone is probably bringing in 10, 20, 30K plus in revenue every single day for this brand. So as you can see, it's pretty much about persuasive storytelling. First of all, they mention the problem and then tell a very, very trustworthy story around it. And they get very, very deep into the problem. As you can see, they mention pills, they mention how all the alternatives to the product didn't work. Then they got a doctor consultation, then they started, getting hope, but none of the stuff was working. And then they got introduced to the product. And here it is. This new breakthrough technology fixes blood circulation, all that stuff. Here they introduce the product, they introduce all the benefits, again in a very compelling storytelling format. Here you start having some proof of concept. Here you have the offer, which is crazy, like all the value that they're providing with their offer. Then you go to the product page, again very branded, very good looking, a lot of social proof, comparison to competition. As you can see, they have offers for up to 6 products. They have services, they have all sorts of upsells possible. So that's what I mean. Like, you have to optimize every single part of your funnel because advertising is gonna get crazy expensive. So if you're not maximizing the earnings out of every single visitor, you're losing out on a lot of money. And the second type of landing page that I wanted to show you is the listicle, which is made like a magazine article mentioning a product, and you can make that in a few minutes in this cool app. It's called Replo. You can pretty much create one from scratch using a template in like 30 minutes. You just need to replace the text, but that's pretty much the outline. This is a very good template because it's very season specific. As you can see, they made it Black Friday special. And you pretty much list your main USPs of your product. And on the bottom, you have your offer and a button to the product page. You just list your main USPs, make a short description about them. In the last 1 or 2 reasons, you can introduce some social proof, and then you introduce your offer. So that pretty much warms up your visitor so that when they land on the page, they're just ready to buy. Like they're not reading the description at all. They're pretty much warmed up from your ad and high performing landing page. And then your product page is not even that important. Like people just want to check out because they want your product. And last but not least, we have your backend. Like your backend is like your skeleton. You cannot move far without a proper backend. And I want to show you 3 specific ways how you can optimize your performance on your backend. So if you apply this thesis properly and you scale up like crazy, you're gonna for sure run into production issues. You need to inform your customers upfront whether their package is gonna arrive on time, because otherwise you're gonna risk getting a lot of refunds and chargebacks. So you wanna minimize that risk. Just be upfront with people. They're gonna be, in most cases, they just understand and they're like, fine, I'll get my shipment a little bit later. You have to be very careful when it comes to Christmas and specific holidays, because you might ruin someone's holiday if they don't get their package on time, and it kind of sucks. So make sure to be completely upfront with your customers about delivery times, and 9 times out of 10 is just fine. Like as long as you're upfront, people will understand. There's logistics issues going on, it's normal. So just make sure to set up that delayed fulfillment flow. And if you want to get a sample fulfillment one, just comment below and I'll make sure to send it out to you. And the second flow that I want to cover is the abandoned cart flow. So a pretty simple trick to implement is just making your abandoned cart flow, again, Q4 specific. So you can make minor tweaks to your copywriting and make it more season specific so that it converts even better. For example, you're selling a kit product and your traditional subject line for your abandoned cart message is your kid needs this, or your children will definitely benefit from this, whatever. You can change it to your kids will love this Christmas present, and the open rates are gonna skyrocket, I promise you that. And those minor tweaks, if you combine them and if you apply them to all stages of your funnel, collectively, they will make a huge difference. And the third strategy that I wanted to present today regarding email marketing is special event campaigns beyond Black Friday and Thanksgiving. So if we look at this article, you have the key e-commerce dates in Q4. So you can be very creative with this, and depending on your niche, you might even find more applicable events and holidays. So let's see what we got. For example, for October, it's over, but you have International Coffee Day, you have World Vegetarian Day, you have mental health, you have all those different things. Then you have Men's Health Awareness Month. So if you're selling a men's product, that's a perfect opportunity for you to capitalize. You have Thanksgiving, that's pretty obvious. You have Small Business Saturday. So if you're running a small brand and you wanna like really have a personal touch with your customers, you can use such opportunities to really stand out. So this is an opportunity for you to not go crazy on Thanksgiving, and instead use those less popular events that not everyone is really using to make additional profit. And last, I want to cover another mistake that everyone is doing, including me, which is focusing primarily on ROAS and marketing and not focusing on optimizing your margins. So pretty much your profit components are not just your marketing expenses. You also have cost of goods, you have marketing, you have operating expenses. And every single percent matters. Like if you save 1% on $1 million, that's $10,000 in pure profit. And from my experience with my store, I've made over 13% difference in gross margin from when I started to where I'm at right now. And I would have lost $800,000 if I haven't done that. So how do you optimize this? You minimize your cost, which is the cost of goods sold component, and you maximize your average order value. The first part of the equation is pretty much negotiating better prices with your suppliers, cross-checking between different suppliers, because oftentimes different factories, different suppliers can give you slightly different prices. And the third option is sourcing in a 3PL in the United States or China, but that's a very risky thing to do, and I honestly wouldn't do that if you don't save a lot of margin, because it's putting your cash flow at huge risk. So if you're not getting a big improvement in your margins, it's not worth the financial risk to actually go on and order in bulk, or you can just do that from China. You can order from a factory into a 3PL in China. They can brand your products, you can have custom packaging, all that good stuff, and still not have to wait for 2 to 3 weeks for your package to arrive in the States. So this is the cost reduction part, okay? How do you increase your AOV? We already covered that in the offer section, but you pretty much have to test different price points for your product. You have to test differently priced offers. So like a high AOV offer with a ton of value usually works out amazing, and you also get better margins on that. And then the last step is maxing out your upsell funnel in both the pre-purchase and the post-purchase stage. Again, we already covered that, but if you're not utilizing upsells to the max, you're missing out on a lot of money and you're just dumb. Thank you to the people who watched until now. Now I'm gonna share not one, but 2 strategies how you can make even more money during Q4 and set up your business for long-term success. So stick to it. So 2 easy ways to stand out from the competition during Q4 are to launch new products strategically and to launch the same products that you're already offering to just a different demographic. So a very good strategy is launching a custom version of your product, like a slightly tweaked one. You can work with your manufacturer and you can make it, for example, Christmas specific, and launch it right before Christmas. So that's exactly what we're gonna do with our brand. We actually work with our manufacturer and they're gonna produce a very bright red version of the product, which is perfect for a Christmas present. So you first need to build up some hype for the product. You do that with email marketing and with simple lead generation ads on Facebook. And then you set a specific launch date. On launch date, for example, for our first product launch, we did over $16,000 in revenue in less than 24 hours. And yeah, here timing is key. So make sure that the product drop really makes sense with the event that you're launching it on. And you can do some crazy stuff. And the good thing is, once you validate such a product, you can sell it for years to come. And the second option, which is also the easier one, is just taking your campaigns, translating your ads, translating your landing page, and just selling to a different demographic. You can target specific EU countries such as Germany, Netherlands, France, Italy, and a few more. You can target the Hispanic US population, which is very, very large, or you can just run some worldwide targeting campaigns. My best advice here is to just make them native. So if you want to test EU countries, make sure to have a specific campaign for Germany, for France, for Netherlands and Belgium, for the UK. If you target the Hispanic US population, make sure to translate everything in Spanish. Or if you just run worldwide targeting, which is the lowest effort thing to do, just keep everything in English, test out with worldwide targeting. If some specific country proves to be very successful, make everything adapted to that specific country and start running traffic. And if one country proves to be very successful, just make native ads with a native store, or you can just run it on the same store with multilingual setup and scale it up. So that's everything from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe and comment on this video, and let me know about any topics that you want me to cover next, and keep crushing it. Bye.